It's that time of the year when we have all these European club friendlies here in the United States. This past weekend, Arsenal beat Manchester United 2-1 at SoFi. AC Milan beat Manchester City 3-2 at Yankee Stadium. Last night, I watched a little bit of this game. Barcelona, Man City 2-2 in Orlando. Tonight, we've got AC Milan, Real Madrid at Soldier Field, Liverpool, Arsenal in Philadelphia. This upcoming weekend, Manchester United, Liverpool in Columbia, South Carolina. Do these games excite you? There was a time when Americans look forward to being able to watch the elites of world football play on our shores, even if it was just friendlies. But I don't know, has the U.S. sort of outgrown that as a soccer nation?
I don't know if they've outgrown it because they're still getting big crowds. Has it become diluted a little bit? Because let's be honest, not just the big super clubs, but pretty much any team out there that wants to quote unquote spread their brand recognizes the opportunity that exists and the market that exists. By the way, there's a really good article over on ESPN from our friend Jeff Carlisle about the situation right now with the relevant lawsuit and U.S. Soccer and FIFA, and just because we're talking about this right now about the legal battle to potentially in the future have not just these exhibition games, Mosse, that we're talking about, but actual real games, and how that fundamentally changes the equation for a lot of these global brands that want to expand into the U.S. To your point, now it's not just an exhibition game, and so now the interest level raises, but also from an MLS perspective or any other professional league out there domestically here about that competition and whether that is fair going forward. Anyway, it's a good article, and it gives you the background of where the situation is right now. I recognize the defensiveness when it comes to Don Garber and MLS and others in terms of the encroachment and the potential competition. And this is a little different than the NFL going over to England or Brazil or any place else because the NFL is king, and it doesn't matter what games they play, and baseball for that matter doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt their business, as opposed to a situation where if La Liga or the EPL, or the Bundesliga are playing not just games but meaningful games, competitive games in the U.S., that can be problematic for MLS going forward. But I look at it also from the other way, and I know Jeff mentioned this in his article about. This could also force MLS. And again, it's not my money, it's not your money, but we love to tell people how to spend their money. It could also force MLS to keep up, and not just keep up, but to protect their own territory by doing things bigger, bolder than we have ever seen. Because the whole thinking is that when these teams come in any capacity, but certainly if they come in a competitive capacity, that you are paling in comparison in terms of the competition on the field, the talent on the field, the money on the field, and the credibility on the field. All right. So if you're going to keep up, maybe this forces their hand going forward. So we'll see. But I don't think it has been exhausted yet. I still think people are going to pay money. I still think people, even with the knowledge that you're going to see some players that are just young, or maybe won't be involved, or the star players are only going to play a half, or maybe not even at all. They just like the feel. They like the feel of going to it. It gives them, again, this false sense of authenticity and being genuine and and credible and snobby and all that kind of stuff.
I mentioned that AC Milan faced Manchester City at Yankee Stadium. A couple of interesting notes on that game. Before the match, Pep Guardiola came over to talk to Zlatan. And remember, Zlatan hates Pep. He spent years crushing him. And so it was a bit awkward at first, but then Zlatan kind of loosened up, and it looked like they had a friendly exchange, so that was good to see. Zlatan is now a part of the front office at AC Milan.
Yeah, I look at Zlatan in the same way that I look a little bit. He's got a little Trump in him, in that when it really comes down to it, he doesn't. A lot of it is bluster, and while he certainly has had problems, he forgives and forgets and moves on. And I love Zlatan. I did watch that Barcelona Man City thing, and you always wonder how much someone like Pep takes out of a game like that, and how much of it is just run your legs or something like that. I think someone like Pep is obviously thinking about what he sees, and I'm not sure he can turn it off. But these teams are also they're far away from home. At times they're traveling to go to game to game to game to game. They have sponsor responsibilities and all that. Now, don't get me wrong. They're traveling in first-class kind of accommodations and private jets and all that kind of stuff. But still, sometimes it's maybe not as conducive as coaches would want or players would want, for that matter.
City, their season begins soon. August 10th, Community Shield against Manchester United. That's a rematch, revenge game for them after they lost to United in the FA Cup. But the other funny note I wanted to bring up about the AC Milan-Manchester City game, did you see this video of Pulisic, Mosse, and Jack Grealish were hanging out with Rihanna, and a little kid came up and asked Rihanna to take a picture of him with the players, and had no idea who Rihanna was, treated her as if she was a fan. Meanwhile, she's the most famous person in that collection of people.
It's good for everybody to be humbled every once in a while, all right? It keeps you grounded. It gives you perspective, whether you're Rihanna or anybody else.
That's correct, right? I'll defer to folks in the control room. Rihanna, definitely more famous globally than anybody I just said, right? Pulisic, Jack Grealish.
Umbrella, right? Under My Umbrella? Doesn't she do the Umbrella song or something like that? Am I asking the wrong person?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh, for God's sake. All right. I think she does the umbrella thing. Anything else?
No, nothing from the control room on that, so I guess we can move on.
They unplug, basically, when we start, and then every once in a while they come back in and do that kind of stuff. All right, well, we'll get to the bottom of it. At some point, somebody will wake up in the control room and let us know about Rihanna. I'm pretty sure Umbrella. Okay, they're awake. They're awake. Yes, it is Umbrella. Nailed it! You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.